Is that a breakup?
I think we have a situation right here.
On the Feeling Station.
Hello,
Hey, what's happening?
Jack. How are you? Can you hear me better?
I can hear you loud and clear. This is perfect, thank goodness.
Okay, that's good.
Technology always seems to play games when we need it to behave the most, but hey,
I know. Hey,
thanks for connecting, Sha.
good.
So, before we get too far, you are recording an episode of the Feeling Station podcast, a podcast that touches on breakup stories that people would like to talk about. And hopefully, at the end of our conversation, whoever is listening to your episode will have a lesson that they've learned. So, please do not say your name, okay?
Okay.
And one of the things that people really like about this podcast and why they speak so openly is the fact that I try and keep them as anonymous as I can.
All right.
And part of doing that means that I give you a name.
All right. All right.
And so I've chosen a female name from Congo.
Okay.
And the name is Aluna, which is Aluna. Aluna?
That's a lovely name.
It's a decent name, isn't it? Aluna.
Yes. Yes.
And it's a name that means come here. Funny enough.
Okay. Okay.
Now, when I visualized this when I was picking up this name, I've seen the way some guys pull girls. They literally look at them and say, "Hey, come here," you know,
Okay.
and then they try and have a chat. So the guy that you're going to talk about today, was that his approach with you?
No,
No,
not at all.
thank goodness it wasn't like that.
Not at all.
Okay. Now this is where I have a little bit of fun. I used to, ask people ahead of time to think of a name that they want to give the person that they're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. But I've had a bit of fun asking people on the spot. So I'm going to ask you, what are you going to call the guy you're going to talk about today?
Tom.
Tom. Mm-hmm. That is such a plain name, just Tom. Why? Why Tom of all names?
I think it's the name. It came to my head just on the spot
On
now.
the spot.
So I didn't want to think too hard.
Okay, you
So
kept it really simple, just 3 letters. Yeah, Tom.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to stick to Tom. So this episode is about Tom and Aluna.
Okay.
Now, what would you like people to learn from the episode you're going to talk about today?
Okay. Don't look for love. Don't go digging for it.
Really?
It'll find you when time is right.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So don't look for love, it will find you. That's interesting. And do you have any other lesson that you'd want people to learn?
Yes. Don't be too desperate to be loved.
Ooh. That's going to be an interesting one, because how do you measure how desperate someone is to love? That's really difficult.
Yeah, I know it's interesting, but
Okay.
yeah, sometimes I think we actually do get too desperate for love, and we miss a lot of things.
Okay, so the lesson here is don't be too desperate to love. Okay, so let's get cracking with your story. Tell me where you and Tom met and what it is that you liked about him for you to say, "Ooh, this is the guy that I'm going to be with."
Okay, it's a very funny story. I suppose they're all funny stories. I had just been left by my husband. I was married.
Oh.
So he just walked out on me.
Who's that, your husband?
Yes, my husband.
When you say
So
walked out, you mean he just up and left?
Yes, he literally sat me down, told me that he is leaving, going,
Oh,
and I will be fine with the kids. So he packed his bag and went. That was that.
okay. I guess that's an episode for another day, right? Jeez.
I suppose.
Okay.
But we're not here to talk about the
Yes,
husband.
yes, yes.
I'm here to talk about Tom.
Okay.
So I moved to another country, like a foreign country, I suppose, to get some peace and also to get myself on my feet so that I am financially okay to take care of these kids that I had been left with.
Okay. How many kids are we talking here?
2.
2. Okay, cool.
Yes. So I should say I never gave myself time to heal or even to think of what it meant that I am now alone. So I came to this foreign country and I looked for work. Funny, in 3 days, literal 3 days, I got a job.
Oh, wow! That was good fortune.
Yes. So I got a job with Tom's brother. So the first day I went to work. I met Tom's brother. We did what we did, and we went to our first client.
Before we even go too far, I think there's some missing detail there.
Okay, which is?
So all I've picked up is that you met Tom after your husband had left you.
Yes.
I have no idea where you met Tom or how you met him.
Yes, that's what I want to explain. I was with his brother going to a client, and then his brother said, "Okay, we need to pick my brother up for this particular client."
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We're working together, and I said, "Oh, okay, cool. No issues." And then he says, "But pardon, my brother talks too much, so please pardon him." And I said, well, it's cool." So we get to, the brother was literally standing at a robot in on our way to where we were going. We picked him up. The brother was looking, hair not combed, shirt not ironed, bloodshot eyes.
Oh dear, he was looking a right mess, wasn't he?
Yes. So it's not like, "Oh, I like you because you're looking clean," or "I like you because you're looking good." No, there was nothing like that, actually.
So your first impression was pretty much ill.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then as he was getting into the car, all he wanted to do was to explain the mess he was in.
To you. What explanation did he give?
Well, he was high, he was drunk, and there was no electricity, so he just had to jump and go.
Okay.
And we said, "Oh, well, cool. We didn't ask that. It's fine." So then we got to talking. And then, funny, we had similar stories. So this was on a Monday. I had been drinking with friends on Sunday. He had been drinking with friends, so he had kind of a hangover. So I wasn't really suffering hangover. And even if I was, I am not one to present myself looking too shabby.
Yes.
So we started talking. He was talking about the conversations he was having with his friends. This was about Christianity and stuff. And his brother, ironically, is a pastor.
Oh, okay.
So both of us started talking about God. And then he stops and says, "You guys, you are talking about God, but you guys were high yesterday." And both of us like, yeah, and so people who drink can't know God, or people who have a drink here and there can't qualify to talk about God. So yeah, the conversation went on. It really flowed. We clicked, an automatic.
Okay, that's good.
From there, we became friends because we needed to work together at some point. So we started hanging out a lot. And because his brother had this business, he had these phones that we had. So I had one, his brother had one, Tom had one, right? So these phones would give you access to call for free for from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Oh, nice.
So literally from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m., we would be talking on the phone. Wow. No sleeping. For days.
That's crazy.
Real.
Talk about some good vibes, eh?
We would go on and on. You just think, I am in this glove fits perfectly in my hand. You understand that kind of thing? Yes. So because I didn't kind of deal with my past pain and hurt, I just thought, you know what? Crazy. This is a free space. All I wanted tonight was to get sex. Lots. of 6.
Why was
Because
that?
I thought it would take away the pain that I was going through, and I actually didn't want to face it.
Right, gotcha.
So we get to talk, I think, a week after these long conversations. You literally think you've known this person for the rest of your life. Then the encounter happened.
And this is after how long after you guys met?
After a week.
After a week, okay.
Yes. So it like spark. You know how sex just sparks a thing. It takes things to the next level. Then I think in our heads we fell like completely in love. This is our heads. We fell completely in love, and his brother, Tom's brother, kept on saying, I had told my brother not to fall in love with you.
Really?
Yes.
Reason being?
Because we always call it in I'm Shona, so I'm going to say it in Shona. Moyo wakarembera, like a heart that yearns for things quickly. You will just quickly jump into things.
Okay.
Or some people call it monkey business. You hang from this branch. Just before you leave this branch, you're hanging on another one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he was late because monkey business had
It already
started.
happened.
Yes.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, Tom was staying with his baby mama at this time.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And baby mama was staying with her mom.
What?
Yes.
So he was pretty much at his in-laws' place, even though he wasn't really his baby mama.
Yes.
That
And
is crazy.
they would literally hear him talk to me all these nights. Sometimes they would literally ask him, please tone it down.
What?
Yes.
That is nuts. Why hadn't he left?
Because he didn't have anywhere to go. And because this business was with his brother, I don't know how they were doing payments of salaries or not. So he didn't have like money for him to actually go and be by himself. So his Tom's brother, another brother, came from home country and came and joined him in the foreign country. Let me call it Canaan. So he came and he was staying in the most dingiest place. And then he moved with his brother. It was a very dingy place. Like, no jokes. So one day I said to them, I want to visit where you stay because you're claiming now you don't stay with baby mama. At least I should have that, comfort. And then they said, you won't like it. And they called it Robben Island.
They called it Robben Island. Why they call it Robben Island for?
Because it was like one little tiny room.
Wow.
Yeah, and literally they had to sleep on a sponge. So me being the cool chick I am, I said, no, I actually want to sleep over. They said, like, for real? I said, yeah.
I mean, wow. Okay, go on.
And then I did. It was like an adventure, like a real adventure. That was my first and my last experience.
I mean, at least you had your question answered. You knew that he had moved out and he wasn't with baby mama anymore.
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
Good.
So then, I said to him, what if we move in together? I was currently staying with my uncle because, you're just moving into a new country and you have relatives and they literally don't want you to be in horrible spaces. So obviously they accommodate you. That's family, yeah. And then he says, but you stay with your uncle. I said, no. I get a salary and it's paid, so we can move in together. We'll look for a place to go and stay. And then he's like, cool. This was 6 months down the line. Then we moved. His brother fired him. I had gotten a better job, was paying quite good, but then I didn't want to jump to look for a big place. So I just looked for those sharing houses, and we used the bedroom, one of the bedrooms there. So all he used to do was sit at home and do nothing.
But why did his brother fire him?
Because Tom's extremely opinionated, like extremely, like high levels. So he always used to want to correct his brother about how he was running business. He always wanted to correct people on how they do things. So his brother said, you know what, I don't think we can actually work together. So
So it was to keep the peace, pretty much.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So the first month, we had a problem of staying together. Tom had 2 children by 2 different baby mamas.
Yo. This guy is sounding a bit like a whirlwind, you know. you know, just a few bits you've described. He's a bit of a character, isn't he?
An extreme colorful one.
But would that have been the attraction for you by any chance?
I think so.
Were you attracted to
because
that crazy side of him?
Yes. The I don't care what's going on. Let the wind just blow me wherever. Because I was married to a guy who was this stable guy who, he had his own issues, but he was not an all over the place kind of guy.
Wow.
And Tom was like everywhere, like everywhere. So it was fun.
Okay.
And given my background of really Christian home, this was like, oh, people can actually do this.
Yeah.
So it was exciting. Yes. So then the issue came. I was taking care of his 2 kids, my 2 kids, and us, me and him. So at times, not fully, right? So at times he would get money here and there. And he'd say, no, I'll pay you back for the money that you would have given the kids and stuff like that. So sometimes it would go for a bit of time without him actually making money.
Yeah.
And the baby mamas would be, all over the place. Money, this, money, that. So the brother then came to try and solve issues. And then I literally said a statement that till the end of our relationship, it came.
Oh, dear.
I said to him, I think I bit off more than I could chew.
Oh.
In terms of taking care of his kids, because I had said I was going to do that because we were in a relationship.
Yeah. What was his reaction to that?
That is what changed everything. But I didn't know. I only knew in hindsight. I had no idea. This is what changed everything. So when I noted that he kind of changed, I told him, you know what? Let's work this way. I'll help you to get paperwork, get job and everything. And then we can work properly as a team. So for him, it's like, no, you changed everything. When you said you bit off more than I could chew. And I was being honest. I didn't want to lie to you. I needed you to know the truth. And then he's like, yeah, well. And I said, okay, fine. We can revert back. You do the accounts. I do the working. And he refused. I tried to get counsel. I tried to get people to help us so that we can get back to that place. But it was lost.
You probably hit a really raw nerve for him.
Yes.
What did he think you meant when you said that?
That I was not willing to take care of his children.
Yikes.
Which was not even what I had said.
Yeah. What did you mean, though, when you said that?
Starting from scratch to now, you need to set things in motion for a home to be there, for your family also to know that, no, actually, is okay. So I needed so many other things to patch up on, like take care of my kids now, because now I'm literally alone. This is just now my baby. So I had not anticipated the pressure that I had put on myself by taking a whole other family in. And with the salary I was getting, it wasn't bad at all, but I needed to just wait a bit, be stable, and then incorporate the rest of the family in. But I didn't do that.
So what you basically meant to him was that it's not that you don't want to take care of his kids, but you just couldn't because you had limitations, you had financial constraints.
Yes.
There were more mouths to feed than there was money available.
Yes, true.
Okay, but then he took it and interpreted it in the way that that meant to him that you didn't want to take care of his kids.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay.
So we continued. We got a better place, a bigger place. Things were different. He started talking to other girls, and I was there. Like literally what we used to do, those 6 to 8, 6 to 7. And he'd justify it by saying, no, he's doing Bible study with these girls. And I'd say to him, but you should respect the fact that you're in my house and you're having Bible study with a woman at 2 a.m. Like, seriously, there's no other time.
Yes.
So then we decided to break up.
And why did you break up at that point?
Because the girls were too many. The women he talked to were too many. And I felt...
How many are we talking here?
3.
3.
Yeah, like literally on different points. All these women were in the picture. Excluding baby mama, who he'd occasionally look like he wants to go back to.
Jeez.
So I thought, I don't know if I can do this.
So you left?
No, left where we broke up. But remember, we're staying in the same house. He didn't move.
Yeah, this guy has a tendency of not moving when things go pear-shaped, eh?
He didn't move. He just chilled. His sisters would call me and tell me to literally chase him out of my house.
Because they knew.
And I'd ask them, okay, would you guys take him? So no one in his family actually wanted. It's not like he doesn't have family here. He has lots of family.
Wow.
No one wanted to take him in, like at all.
Did you perceive that as a sign?
I actually didn't. So Tom stayed. And crazy, he actually started going out from my house to meet one of these other girls.
And how did you know he was meeting one of these girls?
Because one of the days he told me that he had invited her to come to our house.
Okay. For Bible study?
Yes.
Okay.
And I told him, Sat, you can't do that. Go and meet under a tree, I don't care. 3 months passed. We would sleep in the same bed. No touching. Nothing. I would come from work, cook, go to work in the morning. We were literally like housemates. So, because I desperately wanted to be loved, I started saying to him, no, I actually see this that I did was wrong. I'm sorry. And I did really desperate things. Like begged him and begged him.
To
and
do what?
Begged him to get back with me. And eventually he said, okay. We started again. Then my kids came to stay with me. He had visited home. And then he needed to come, and I told him, it's a bit tricky because what? The kids are here.
Yeah.
And my kids know their dad, and they don't know I'm with somebody. I said, no, but I've got nowhere to go, blah, blah, blah. So, like in a jiffy, I had to sit down with my teenage daughter.
Yeah.
Because the other one was small, teenage daughter, to explain to her that Tom is coming to live with us. She did not take it so well, but I mean, she's a child, you see, so she just said, okay. He came. He tried very hard for them to like him. So the small one, was really small. So they clicked, and he was a boy. So they clicked, play and all sorts. Then we decided to move again from this other place to a bigger place. We moved. Things were okay-ish, but you can just feel that I can't put my hand to it, but it's not okay.
Yeah.
I remained faithful. I did what I would do, go to work, buy food, buy things that I needed. Then I had to start buying him clothes because like he's part of the family, and his clothes were not so okay.
And this guy's still not working properly, is he?
No,
Was he at least trying to maybe find a job?
I felt he wasn't making an effort, like at all. So he would scream at me, "What do you want me to do? To go out walking?" And I said, "At least, I don't know. I do something that I can see." Then we decided, let's go and get a car. Right? We got a loan at the bank. We bought a small little car, and I let him do whatever he wanted to do. I would fuel the car. Then he started going to see other girls. He'd go and see his baby mama with the kid. And instead of, it's different when you're going to see your child and not the baby mama. You understand?
Yeah.
No, they started taking pictures, lovey-dovey pictures in my car and doing selfies, like a whole family thing. And then one day I see his phone and I see these pictures. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And then I see another picture with another girl in my car who I didn't know.
Lord of mercy.
And I was like, oh, shit. I am funding this guy to do his nonsense. What the hell am I doing?
Absolutely.
I asked him. He refused. He said, "No. What do you think? I don't want my son to think that there's animosity." And I said, "This other girl, we phoned her. The girl was actually trying to be cheeky. No. And then he'd say it's my cousin's girlfriend." And I said, "Okay, this selfie, explain this selfie to me. That looks like your brother's girlfriend. You just take things out of you exaggerate." And I was like, my friend, if I exaggerate now, this girl is shouting at me. I'm the inappropriate one. I said, okay, fine. Let me not talk to people's people. Let them handle their own people. Then we had a chat, a serious one, where he says he's willing to go the whole way through, but he's not sure he might cheat on me along the way.
Rah. And he said this to you?
Yeah.
He was being honest?
Yeah.
And what did you say?
Because I really wanted to be loved tender, hey? Like, okay. I said, okay. We didn't get married, or my family didn't want to hear about him because they just thought he was a tick who was sucking life out of me.
Yeah.
So it made it better that my family didn't want to hear about him. So, we left that. 2 years passed. We then broke up at some point again.
You were with this guy for a while,
4 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so, we will get to that. So why did you guys break up a second time?
When you feel like you're pushing a person that they actually don't want you, but they don't have the balls enough to say they don't want you because you're literally their lifeline. You are their accommodation, their food, the clothes. I had bought him an expensive phone. I would do things that he would want me to do.
Okay, can I just ask why you felt the need to do all of that stuff?
To buy his love bike, like the one that we had at the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah, so that he stays, because he actually sees that I want him to be there, not because of the accommodation or whatever. I wanted him there. Not a shell of a person that I now had. One thing that I can say, like now, what kept me in was grade 6.
Right.
Yes. I remember I looked for that at the beginning.
Yeah.
It kept me there, yes.
In fact, that was going to be one of my questions, to say, do you think the sex that you guys had is what kept you there in the first place? But I wasn't sure whether I should ask the question, because you said to me at some point, you guys actually stopped touching each other. So I didn't think you got back to where you were before, but it feels like, okay. The sex is what really kept you in there.
Literally, yes. Yeah. Literally, people, family, friends would ask me, does he have a dick that squirts ice cream or chocolate? What's wrong with him? And I'd say no, because I didn't want them to think that he's just a toy.
Wow.
I didn't want them to think he was a toy. So this time we break up. Close to the end of the second year, we break up. He then moves out because his cousin gave him a job.
Okay.
Then he starts dating this other girl. So he would occasionally come and visit me because, you know, we would want to have sex and whatnot. He'd come visit, would have sex, he'd go. And I think one day, I don't remember what happened, he literally comes to my house to scream at me, to tell me that... Oh, no, I had asked him, does this other girl know that I'm there? No. She can't know. You know because, I mean, you're a side chick. I was like, oh, okay. So that day he literally came to my house.
So hang on a sec.
Insult.
Hang on a sec. You're now a side chick because you guys broke up a second time.
Yes.
Okay, so in his mind, you're not together. You're just pretty much fuck buddies.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So I looked for a trick that would help me chase him away.
Okay.
I started kind of dating this guy. We had agreed that we would date so that he goes away because he was saying, if I'm not this friend, I'll not help you. You're not helping yourself. You need someone to help you.
So hold up a second. One of your male friends said, I'm going to pretend to be your boyfriend so that this guy goes.
Yes.
Okay. But before it goes too far, did this guy have any feelings for you at all, even tiny little bit? This friend of yours.
It looked like, at first it was him proposing like that, but it looked like, and I did not give a damn.
Oh,
I suppose I wanted something to just I wanted someone to drag me by the ear and tell me, hey, wake up.
Yeah, okay.
The problem is, he had sat me down to try and want to understand what was the issue. And I told him about the sex and whatnot. His aim was to outdo this guy. So it was like really boring sex. Because you are trying
so hard
to outshine this person and you are just ugh.
It just wasn't happening.
No, it wasn't. And he would try so hard and until I told him, you know what, just stop.
Wow.
I went home. Tom asks me, did you have sex with him? I said, yep. I was like, okay, let's do this. He calls the guy. Guy starts telling him how good I am. Hey, what not? How it was so great. And Tom made me give him a blowjob while he was talking to the guy on the phone.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
I suppose to stroke his ego, because he kept on saying, I told you, you belong to me. And he's saying to me, it's a punishment so that you don't do nonsense.
And the guy on the other end know that this is what was happening?
No, he's got no idea.
This is nuts.
I broke up with this other guy. And this guy was really actually heartbroken because he actually thought I was in it for love.
But where did he miss the memo that this was never going to work? Because the reason why he
kept on insisting that he kept on insisting, I'll make you happy. This guy doesn't care about you and whatnot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long were you guys together for with this other guy?
Oh, less than 2 months, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then you went back to Tom.
Yes. Then move faster. He's now back he's working for his cousin, staying there. Then he comes and he insults me, saying that I'm just a side chick. Who do I think I am? Wanting to ruin things for him. Because I asked him, does this other girl know? Because you clearly just pour your heart out with all the things that this girl is not, how she's this, how you actually think she's a prostitute. But I don't know what it is that you want. And then, it wasn't the same. The relationship was there, but it wasn't the same. It's like, you're just trying to live a life, and I guess it's fun, and we'll see where it takes us. And I actually wanted him to marry me. Like, that's the irony. I did.
This is weird. Okay, maybe not weird, but it's just difficult to comprehend because there's all the reasons why you shouldn't even think about cementing this thing through marriage.
Yes.
And here you are
but
busy
I
thinking
wanted
about
to.
doing it.
Yes.
But I guess it ties into the lessons that you were talking about where it says, don't look for love, it will find you.
Yes, don't be too desperate because you will do crazy things.
And don't be too desperate for love because you do crazy things, because it really does sound like the things you were doing were crazy.
Very. Very much. And it's not like I didn't know, hey? I did know. But for some reason, I don't know why I just didn't let go.
Well, it feels like the sex is what made you stay.
Yes, but then I didn't care. At one point, now in the 4th year, I didn't care about the sex anymore.
So what made you leave at the end?
I didn't leave. I literally chased him from my house. Literally chased him, packed his bags, told the security at the complex, if this guy ever comes here, do not allow him to get in through this gate.
What got you to that point?
I think I actually realized I needed to do it. Even if I didn't want to, I needed to do it.
Why did you need to do it?
Because it was draining me. It was draining my daughter. My daughter now was having issues. She would literally ask me questions. Can't you see that this guy doesn't love you?
Wow.
He's just making, she would say, now she would wish her dad to be back. And I know her feelings about her dad were not for him to ever come back in our lives, but she tried. She started acting out, and I thought, I will ruin my daughter because I'm trying to get love. Best is just for me to let this guy go.
And was that the last time that you saw him then? After
No.
you chased him out? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
But what happened?
He came before he came to visit. And my daughter was angry at me for allowing him to come to visit.
Do you know why you allowed him to visit?
Just to see, to show him that I'm actually fine. Because he had this thing that whatever happens, you belong to me.
Okay. You're trying to prove a point.
Sort of to show him that I am fine without him. But I was not actually fine without him.
So when you look back, did you actually manage to prove that point to him?
Yes, he actually now knows that I'm actually doing very well without him.
So how do you feel now? Are you in a good place if you managed to at least find yourself and not try and buy love?
Yes, I am. I always tell my sisters and friends, why didn't you do it earlier? Why didn't you drag me out earlier? Because I was lying to myself that it's love. I was lying to myself that I want to be wanted. I need to want myself first more than anything else. And I feel content. I feel happy.
That's good.
My relationships actually are better. When you feel like a big load has been lifted from your shoulder, that's what I feel like. I don't need to be begging someone to be there when they don't want. I don't need to squeeze someone out when you can clearly see person doesn't want.
That's probably because you've grown. I think you've seen the impact of what the breakup of your marriage did to you and what the impact of trying to buy love has done to you. And now you understand that the person who matters the most is actually me.
Yes.
And that's a really important lesson for people to pick out from this thing. I know a couple of episodes back, there are people who felt they didn't love themselves enough and they didn't grow, and all sorts of craziness happened to them.
Yes.
So just as we wrap this up, 2 lessons have come out from this episode. The first one being Don't look for love. It will find you, especially at the time that you feel you're ready for it. And more importantly, don't be too desperate to love someone, because it will end up making you do some crazy stuff that are outside of your character.
Yes, true.
And I think we could possibly just add one more lesson there, because you sound like you're in a much, much, much better place now. So maybe a third lesson there is that give yourself time to heal.
True.
Because it really feels like you've given yourself time to heal. And maybe it's worth me asking now, do you still feel the need to try and prove a point to anyone?
No.
No, okay.
No, not at all.
That is all in the past.
Yes.
Great stuff. Well, thank you very much for your time and for having this conversation with me. For those who've been listening to this particular episode of the podcast, again, those two main lessons are: don't look for love, it'll find you, and don't be too desperate to find love. And most importantly, give yourself time to heal and grow, because ultimately you will become a better person. Well, I look forward to catching you on the next episode, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Feeling Station podcast. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Sati's on Daro Raini and Chagezai.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Sati's on Daro Raini and Chagezai.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motoru no to kujidziro amai.
Kujidziro amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motoru no to kujidziro amai.